Were you raised by your father and mother?
No, just my mother.
Oh, where's your father?
I don't know. I don't want to meet him.
Why not?
Well, because my mother says I don't want to, and I there's no reason to.
Are you just like your mother?
Yes, I am.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got something pretty good today, man. We got a guy, right? We got a guy who I would say, right? And this is what you're going to see with a lot of your mama boys, right? This is what you're going to see with a lot of guys, man, who are raised in a single parent household where it's almost like the guy is institutionalized, right? Where a lot of guys just stick to one thing, man, when they're in prison, right? When they're in prison, you know, they've been stuck with that lifestyle for so long that even when they get out of that lifestyle, they're still doing some of the things that they would be doing back in prison. They're still buying things that they would buy in prison, as if we don't actually have some good products that you can use, or some good food that you can eat or whatever, right? They still keep the same mindset that they had, you know, in prison. So that's why they say, well, you know, I was institutionalized, right? So when you look at boys who are raised in a single parent household, a lot of times you get mothers, right? And this is where you get your bitter baby mothers, right? I mean, we've done plenty of those videos, right? We've done plenty of those videos. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the kids who are pretty much in these videos where I talk about bitter baby moms. I wouldn't be surprised if these kids grow up to be just like this little boy right here, right? And can't even say a man, this little boy. But this boy didn't allow his mom to, you know, fill his head up with a bunch of BS and, you know, pretty much, man, got this man feeling like, hey, my dad ain't nobody. And that's what you get from a lot of single mothers who dislike their baby fathers, or who, you know, have a very bad relationship with the man that they decided to lay down with and have a child with. And this is where you get guys getting on child support, guys sitting over here leaving out of their children's life because they don't want to deal with the mother. And guess what the mother does? The mother's, you know, hey, instead of telling the boy the real reason why the father left, or the real reason why the father doesn't want to be in the child's life, they turn around and say, hey, well, your father wasn't this, your father never really loved you, your father this, your father that, your father this, your father that. Like, let's be honest here, right? It's just bitter baby mama drama. So this woman had filled this man's head up, and, you know, so once again, saying this man was trash, saying this man didn't provide anything, saying this man was had toxic masculinity, this, that, and the third. So she essentially then created a feminized man, right? So let's go ahead, man, and see his explanation as to why he doesn't even want to meet his father. He doesn't even want to meet his father anymore, right? He said he doesn't know who his father is, and simply because his mama said you don't even want to know who your father is. You essentially have the leverage. I mean, you can say whatever you want about the man, and guess what? Ain't like he can sit over here and call up his father. Hey, dad, was this true? It ain't gonna happen. The mother has the leverage, and I know firsthand my brother's going through it, right? My brother has gone through it, where they sitting over here having an argument. And I ain't sitting over here saying my brother's perfect, right? Damn sure ain't sitting over here saying that he was right in the situation for some of the things that he said to this woman. But you sit up here, right? And you gonna sit over here and say, hey, well, I'm gonna tell your daughter that, you know, that you wanted to have a, you know, delete us, defeat us, let's put it that way. As if a lot of men haven't came up here, right, at a young age and said, hey, man, look, yo, maybe we can go ahead and give you a plan B, or maybe we can go ahead and try to figure this out another way. I'm not ready to be a father. Plenty of men will tell you they're not ready to be fathers. But guess what? A woman will still carry out and have that baby. And then when the guy just doesn't even want to deal with them, or just want to be out of the kid's life, then they then start to badmouth the man. They then start to feel like victims, even though they put themselves in that situation. So let's go ahead and see, man, what this man has to say, who was feminized by his mother.
You raised by your father and mother?
No, just my mother.
Oh, where's your father?
I don't know. I don't want to meet him.
Why not?
Well, because my mother says I don't want to, and I there's no reason to.
Because your mother said it? Why you believe your mother? Your mother is jealous of your father. She won't let you see him.
I don't think that's what it is. My mother is also against toxic masculinity, and she is also against patriarchy. And my father was a very...
Betas and men who swing that way are going to have a mindset like this, right? When women sit up here and say, there's men out there, man, who's willing to date a peach star. There's women out here, man. There's men out here who's willing to be a stepfather and step up to the plate. When you hear men sit up here and say Kevin Samuels don't know what he's talking about, he's this, he's that. when you have other men trying to bash the red pill, these are the boys that they talk about. Men who allow women to walk all over them. This is a mentality of a man who allows a woman to walk all over him. A woman will always be right. Well, I don't want to meet my father because my mommy said so. My mommy said I don't want to meet him. Check this guy out. Check this dude out. And these are some of the guys we got to sit over here and go back and forth with. These are the guys that we got to sit over here and say, man, look, you are right. There are some guys who are willing to sit up here, man, and squander their value and give it to some women, men that are not deserving. That is fine, right? That's fine. You're talking about those guys, but guess what? Those guys aren't us. You will never see guys like this in the red pill.
Male.
How you know that?
Because I see videos and photos from when I was a baby, and one of the videos is him with a bunch of other men in the backyard, all drunk, drinking beers.
What's wrong with that?
Well, they're just acting like idiots. I can just tell through the video his personality is just not somebody I'd want to meet.
Are you just like your mother?
Yes, I am.
His explanation as to why he feels his father has toxic masculinity is something that a woman would say. It's something that a feminist would say. It's something that a beta would say. It's something that they will say. All of these women, right? All of these women that say they don't need a man, they say, hey, well, you know what? I'd rather go to the sperm bank and raise a kid on my own. You're tripping. The child needs a father in its life. Or you just going to create tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of men who are like this, right? Who are blue-pilled, who don't have a backbone, who are once again going to sit up here, demonize men in this space because, hey, we know our value. Because we know, hey, we know what we want. We're not just going to allow people with moose knuckles to sit over here and think, hey, well, you know what? Because we got some moose knuckles, we want to sit over here and control the market, control the narrative of how people think about men, right? And that's sad. And this is why I said the mother indoctrinated this man. The mother filled this man's head up. And I can go down a whole list of sisters, man, that sit up here and fill their child's head with a bunch of bull just because they dislike the baby father. And that is an issue because, once again, women have too much power. She has full custody of the child. Once again, most of you women are going to have full custody of the children. That man need to drop his nuts and go ahead and call up his father or try to find some way to get to his father so he can hear his side of the story. This is why we always say you got to listen. You have to hear two sides of the story. I just had a video where a woman, right, where a popular woman that's on YouTube was pretty much talking about why you shouldn't sit up here and go talk to your friends or go sit up here and go fill people's head up with bull crap just because that's what they're stuck with. When you have to go back and go deal with, your significant other or whatnot, you're going to have to face that music. And these people are still going to be stuck on that.
As a failed marriage who doesn't understand what it's like to be with a man like that. Number two, if I go and tell my friend how horrible Grant was about something, which there's two sides of the story.
You're only going to be hearing your mother's side, but you're not even going to hear your father's side. And she indoctrinated you so much that you don't even want to go out and go look for the man and go ask to go get some closure, to go see why your father decided to dip out or whatever, or probably why your mother ran that man away, or probably why your mother kept that man away from you. And we see it a lot of times because once the guys get older and they then go meet the father like, man, look, hey, shoot, your mom was this, your mom was that. Your mom made it hard for me to deal with her. Your mom made it hard this, your mom that, your mom this. You getting the whole backstory. Now guys are like, damn, this woman done kept this man away from me for my whole life just because she had disliked this man. And that's why I said, you go look at all my old videos of bitter baby moms. That's what you get. That's the type of women that you're going to get. Because once again, this guy lost out on a whole lot. 9 times out of 10 because of the mother. The fact that she's even willing to say all of that, 9 times out of 10, it's the mother. And we are just to sit here and just automatically believe the woman because, hey, she's a strong, independent woman. She has to take care of the kid by herself and this and that. When most of the time, a lot of your single mothers are running the man about the house. The single mothers are very hard to deal with. So guess what? The guys are saying, man, I don't want to have to deal with that shit. And I feel bad for these men. I really feel bad for these men because once again, they don't do anything besides, most of your men only try to do the right thing. Right? Only try to do the right thing. And it's hard when you have the judges against you and your baby mother against you. Just think about it. Why, and you had women who sat up here and say, it don't matter what a woman does. you know, to keep that man away from his child. The man should never want to stop, you know, trying to go after his child. So he's still in the wrong. He's still the bad guy. People, just imagine, man, you sitting over here constantly keep trying to accomplish something, but it can never work just because you got somebody right there keeping you from doing it, keeping you from getting to where you're trying to be, keeping you from being a father that you are trying to be. So at some point in time, everybody has their limits, right? A lot of women understand that. A lot of women understand that women have their limits, but they don't understand that men have their limits. They just expect men to just sit over here and be functional 24/7 and just deal with everything that comes with it. What do y'all think about this, right? What do y'all think about this? Because like I said, this brother is indoctrinated. This brother was lied to. More than likely, this brother was lied to. So now, once again, all of a sudden, he doesn't even want to go meet his father. That's how long he's been up under his mother. That's how much bull she fed to that man. Y'all do me a huge favor. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, leave me a subscribe.